Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Darkest Timeline podcast. So it's just me today. There'll be games, movies, TV, anything that's been going on in the last week. There might be talk of running and working out. Who knows? Let's find out together. If you're checking us out on YouTube, that probably means you're one of our lovely YouTube subscribers, one of the crew, one of the gang. It's good to be part of things. So here we go. This is CookieCast, the Darkest Timeline podcast. Can't be a good technical difficulty to kick things off. Oh, I've been naughty. I haven't set up. Trying to get... This will sound amazing, I'm sure. Trying to get too eager to get going. That's the problem. And it's, late. That's a new thing. Where's my phone? Oh, jeez. One of those, evenings where everything just suddenly amped up at the point I was about to go and do the old podcast. Sometimes there's nothing nicer than a cold glass of water. How you doing? You well? You good? You good? Good. I find at the moment I'm sort of asking that more and more of people. It was recently Mental Health Awareness Day, maybe. And you see all these different posts like, check on people and then check on them again and then, really check on them. It's like, But yeah, there's been a couple of people that I've sort of been like, maybe they're not doing too well. Kind of checked in on. Good checking on people, make sure they're doing alright. So how are you? You had a good week? You well? Keeping away from any germs? Good. So, it's was it last week? I was like, got nothing to talk about. Things are dull. Nothing's happening. Nothing to talk about. This week, as expected, is a different story. Me and Sam Muscroft went to the cinema. We had a socially distanced trip to the cinema. We masked up and went to the cinema. We went to the IMAX to see a film. It was a bit of a sombre affair. So 3 or 4 weeks ago, I became aware that they were releasing Akira in 4K in the cinema. I was like, ooh, might have to go see that. And then it was like, it's going to be at the IMAX. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I had the opportunity to go and see Akira at the IMAX many moons ago. And one thing or another, I ended up not going, and I regretted it ever since. And I swore to myself, if you ever got the opportunity to go again, then go. No and ifs or buts. Opportunity came up. Tickets were a little pricey, but I was like, it's a treat. Said to Sam, should we go and do this? He was like, hell yeah. I was like, hell yeah. Booked the tickets, Job done. Everybody's happy. And then the cinema announced that they were closing. So yeah, there was that. So there was, first off, it was, we're going to close after we've shown the next Bond film, and that's been delayed till next year. It's like, okay, so they're still going to be open for a little while. Then they said, oh, we're going to close in 2 weeks' time. This was a week before last. And then I think it was the next day, they're like, we're going to close on Thursday. As it was, we were due and booked to go to the cinema on Wednesday, and I was a bit like, it's a real shame for Cineworld. It's a real shame for the 5,000 staff members that were going to lose their jobs, and all of that. And I was like, please don't bring it forward another day. In any given situation, you know, no matter how much empathy you have for other people, often you are in a situation where it's, how does this affect me? So there was that. I'd really like to go to the cinema to see Akira 4K IMAX. I am sorry you are losing your job, and I am sorry that this company is deciding to close its doors. As it was still all systems go by Wednesday, so we went. Socially distanced and all. And we got there, plenty of time, we went, denied about, I'd not eaten since breakfast, and it was a 7 o'clock in the evening showing. So it was like, maybe get something to eat. And then I realised that I would have to take out a mortgage to do that, so decided against it and looked through like the menu of options: popcorn, drinks, nachos, stuff like that. It's like, no, I'm good, thanks. I don't want to have to give you my car keys in exchange. So that was that. We went, we found our seats, lots of very helpful staff, which makes it worse. Like super over the top helpful people. It's like, oh man. And we went and we sat and we watched the film. Incredible experience seeing it. Seeing it in 4K, seeing it in IMAX, it's an absolute thing of beauty. Weirdly, and you know how I always go on about the perfect film and a collection of perfect films, this film, Kira, does not go on the list of perfect movies, because I think in a lot of ways it's quite difficult to understand. However, this film does go on my list of favourite films. It is my number one favourite animated movie, and it is definitely on my top 10 favourite films of all time. And then the opportunity to see it in 4K, to see it in IMAX, it was just breathtaking. It was amazing. I think the thing that always stuck with me about that film is that the entire thing's hand drawn. It was back when they used to actually make films and not, get a computer to do it all for them. It is a thing of beauty, and it was in a lot of ways a beautiful experience. There were some trailers, nothing overly interesting. I find it very difficult to get excited about movies these days. There's a lot of issues with the film market, with the virus. It's causing a lot of havoc with movies, and that's ultimately why the cinema is closed. But I feel that there are other issues as well, like there's nothing majorly interesting out there that you want to see. Certainly not majorly interesting. I'd quite like to see Tent, but I'm sure I can wait for that to be released and find a way of watching it. I might come back around to renting stuff again. So the film finished, we walked out, and they were giving away bags of sweets. And the girl's like, take some sweets. It's a thank you from us here at Cineworld. And it's like, oh, jeez. You just feel so sorry for them. Just all of these situations of all of these people that it's very sad. So yeah, it was a real mixture. So for me personally, as an experience, going, seeing the film, a film that I've seen many times before, but seeing it in its glory, in glorious 4K, in IMAX, just that side of it, exceptional. Everything else around it, like the wrapping around it, was just awful. I felt really sorry for them. So yeah, bit of a odd one, that. I keep laughing. So I've got an update on the cinema joke. So the middle daughter, I said to her, as you know, I said last week, said to her, I'm off to the cinema on Wednesday. Do you want to know what I'm off to see? And she was like, no. Like, all right. Kind of feel that's the end of that conversation. She was like, yeah. So I said to her on Friday, went to the cinema on Wednesday. Do you want to know what I went to see? She was like, no. So I was creasing up, and I told her that I'd been telling you guys about it, and saying, I told people on the podcast about your joke and how funny it was. So then I was like, so yeah, I went to the cinema on Wednesday. Do you want to know what I saw? Do you want to know what film I saw? She was like, no. It just kills me. But then I was talking about this ongoing joke and just how brilliant it is. And then I said again, do you want to know what film I saw? So my eldest was like, I want to know what film you went to see. I think by that point she was annoyed about the whole process, because she never got to find out what the film was, and she wanted to show that she was interested. So my middle daughter's like, oh, actually I do want to know what you went to see. And I'm so gullible. And I was like, really, do you? She's like, no. I nearly fell off my chair. Oh gosh, she got me again. She just drew me in and then pow, right in the kisser. It's brilliant. It makes me laugh so much. It's hilarious. I don't know if it's a situation you have to be there, but I have relayed it to a few people, and they've just been like, that is exceptional. So I just wanted to update you with the more savagery. I had an incident today. Among the many incidents I had today. Today was a bit of a, I don't know, bit of an up and down, bit of a roller coaster ride. Went for my run this morning. yesterday we've been having a conversation about what to have for tea, and I was saying, I was like, can't be anything. We talked about having vegetarian toad in the hole with vegetables, and I was like, I don't think I can do it. I really don't think I can do it, because it's weigh day tomorrow, and I've really been working hard this week, and I can't jeopardise it now. I just can't do it. If I step on the scales tomorrow morning and I haven't lost any weight, I might lose it. So, went for my run, got home, took the baby to nursery, got back home. It's like shower time. Went in the bathroom. I was like, oh, the anticipation of it all. Got undressed, ready for the shower. Got the scales, put them down, got them lined up, turned them on, got them all calibrated and stuff. Stepped on the scales. And I was like, come on. Just a couple of pounds. I felt I deserved more. But I was like, just a couple of pounds. Even 1 pound. Got on scales ummed and ahed and dicked around for a while, and then eventually decided to make its mind up. And what the scales said this morning was, in 4 weeks of running, working out, cutting down on your eating massively, you have lost no weight. And I stepped off the scales, and this is no word of a lie, I had to desperately hold back the tears for quite some time. And eventually got to the position where I could go into the shower, showered, dressed, went downstairs, said to Leanne, I was like, so I know, you were apprehensive, I was apprehensive, we were both worried what the verdict would be, getting weighed, what do you think? She had a bit of a guess, all this and the other. And I said to her, I was like, I've lost no weight. In 4 weeks I lost no weight. And I was like, what the actual fuck? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't see how it is humanly possible for this to be a thing. And I said to her, I was like, I am hungry a lot of the time. I go to bed hungry every day. I have to drink my body weight in water to try and combat how hungry I am. Last week I ate 3 protein bars in the entire week. My diet consists of vegetables, porridge and vegetables. That's it. And over the course of a week I had 3 protein bars. And that's it. I'm in pain. I am in pain now. My legs are aching like proper agonizing pain. I am exhausted. I am very much at my wit's end at this point in time. How is that possible? How is that a thing? How is that even remotely a thing? I Google mapped the run, and the run is 1.6 miles. So 5 days a week I start the day, 1.6 mile run. I come home, I have a glass of water, I shower, porridge for breakfast. Lunch, chopped vegetables. Tea is something that's come out of the slow cooker that's just vegetables with a different sauce. And if I'm lucky, somewhere in all of that, there might be a protein bar. I have a little pot of nuts. And that, on top of that, 5 days a week, working out. Press-ups, kettlebell, weights. Water. Nothing, not even a pound. So yeah. If there is someone out there that is listening to this that can shed some light on this for me, I would hugely appreciate it. I used to go to a gym and I went to see a PT, and I said to him, I've stopped losing weight. Well, no, that's not true. He said to me, I bet you've stopped losing weight, haven't you? And I was like, yeah, how'd you know that? He's like, you're eating too much fruit. I'm like, what? It's fruit. How's that a thing? Like sugar. Like, Jesus. At that point in time, I was one of the healthiest points in time of my life. And I'd stopped losing weight. And now I'm at a complete loss as to why this is a thing. So, like I say, if there is somebody out there that has some idea, like a legit thing, not like a, well, you're fat, aren't you? So that's that. Somebody has a legit, hopefully science-based reason. Give me a shout. So, I was watching all the Marvel films. Not all of them, and certainly not in any kind of order. I've got the Disney Plus, and worked my way through the Marvel films are the ones I was prepared to watch, and then it's like, so what other options I've got? They have a lot of, but not all, of the X-Men films. The ones that I know are missing for definite are X-Men First Class and X-Men Apocalypse. I can only presume there is a licensing reason why they don't have those. They do seem to have everything else, including the newest one, Dark Phoenix. So, I worked my way through the X-Men films. Not going to do a huge... I'm not going to sit here and review each of the X-Men films. Don't think that's required. What I will say is, the first X-Men, I have watched it recently, but recently is probably like in the last 3 years recently. That film has not aged well. But it was... I think it was 20 years ago that film came out. So to say it's not aged well might be a little unfair on it as a film. But something I did want to raise. This is a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the X-Men films, this is a spoiler alert. In the third one, Last Stand, Patrick Stewart, Professor Xavier, dies because Jean vaporizes him. The after credit scene is him. I guess he's put his consciousness into the body of a guy who's in a coma, which is revealed by him speaking in his voice. At the end of Now then, it's not first. Days of Future Past? No, can't be. The Wolverine? Anyway, the end of one of them. It must be the one before Days of Future Past. Again, after credit scene, Charles Xavier rolls up. Patrick Stewart is there, and it's like, eh? And Wolverine's like, how is this possible? And all he says is, I told you a long time ago, you're not the only one with special abilities. That doesn't explain anything. And that's that. They move on. They never come back to it. It's never mentioned again. Honestly, like, I'm sorry, what? And then, after that, he's just back in it. Days of Future's Past. And he's in Logan. So, yeah, just this weird kind of, don't think about it. Move on. So, yeah, I went my way through all the ones that they had. They're alright. They're alright for watching. Sitting and watching, they're fine. Some better than others, some not great. Obviously, there's the whole Wolverine Origins thing. But as I mentioned, Disney Plus does actually have Dark Phoenix on there. I hadn't seen it. Few reasons. One of those reasons being that it had some of the worst reviews of any film ever. And the other reason being is I just never really got round to it. But on Disney Plus, get to watch it for free. Me and Leon sat down Saturday night. Like, come on then, let's find out how bad it is. Firstly, and I feel like I'm getting tired of saying this, wasn't as bad as the reviews made it out to be. Having said that, this is not me saying it was a good film. It struck me as being quite dull. It was just... It felt a lot like not a lot happened. And it's like we've got an established universe, we've got an established storyline, we've got an established crossover between the young versions of the X-Men and the older versions of the X-Men, but we're going to change an origin story that we already established earlier in the franchise. Things like that. It's like, that makes no sense. But then, there's the stuff where they change the course of history anyway, so maybe it's part of that. Who knows? It was okay, like I say, certainly not as bad as it was reviewed. It just wasn't amazing. I've seen it now. I'll probably do, I reckon. As I was saying, I'd watched through the Marvel films, but I hadn't watched all of them, and I hadn't watched them in order and stuff like that. So, watched all the X-Men, and then I'm like, what am I going to watch now? Alright, let's go back and address the Marvel films that I didn't watch, and see if there's maybe some stuff in there that might be worth watching again. So I started at the beginning. It's like, was it Captain America the First Avenger? I am not a Captain America fan. I believe that these films have made his character a lot better than he actually is. So I'm not about to jump back and watch the first Captain America movie. And I've seen it, a few times. We came across Thor. I was like, originally I thought, yeah, I don't need to watch Thor. I remember it and all that.
But then the more I thought about it, I was like, do I? It's been a while since I've seen Thor. Do I remember it? So in the end, I put it on. And it was a really pleasant experience going back and watching Thor again. I haven't seen it for a while. I was wrong. I didn't remember it all. There was certain bits I was like, what was the reason that Thor got banished, and what was the stuff around the hammer? A huge plot hole in that film, with the whole fact that if Thor sticks his hand out, then the hammer comes to him. Yet the whole time where it's on Earth and he's got to go and get it, he has to physically go and get it. Like, just stick your hand out. If it was going to come to you, it would have come to you, would it not? But what I will say is this: it was a really good experience watching it again, because it was very much I'd forgotten a lot about it. I haven't seen it in a while. It's an enjoyable movie. I think most people would agree. So moved on from there. Like, what's next? Went through all of the Phase 1 stuff. I watched Iron Man 2. Mostly because when I watched it when I was on paternity leave, my disc wouldn't play the whole film. Obviously now it's on Disney Plus, just press play and away you go. So I watched Iron Man 2. Again, because I'd not seen all of it the last time I watched it. There was a lot about that one I'd forgotten. So yeah, not a bad experience watching Iron Man 2 again. I watched Iron Man 3. I remember saying originally, I honestly don't know how that was $1 billion movie. Iron Man, when Iron Man's not in it. And then I've watched it again further down the line and I'm like, oh, it's actually not that bad, it's quite good, various other things like that. Watching it more recently, I've come back round to I really don't get how that film made as much money as it did, because it wasn't that great. It was just okay, I guess. I remember being really baffled by it being $1 billion movie. So yeah. Had another one of those productive weekends. Leon and the baby were going out Sunday, both morning and afternoon. Had the opportunity to get some jobs done, had the opportunity to do some stuff that I'd actually wanted to get done for myself. Sat and smoked a lovely cigar. Sat in the garden, smoked a cigar, had a good time. Worked out early. Got some podcasts coded, so I've made some tea. I even cut the grass, so that was nice. One of the things that I was able to do was sit down with my breakfast and watch. I was going to watch or start watching an episode of The Boys, and yet I found that I was halfway through an episode. I was halfway through episode 3 of series 2, so I was like, well, let's get this watched. From where I had been to where I am now, I hadn't been enjoying it as a series. I know it's recently finished, so you can watch all of the episodes now, which I said I would probably wait for. But I just really wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't enjoying the way that that Huey was being treated. But by the end of that episode, loads of stuff happened by the end of the episode, and things seemed to improve, and it made me want to go back and watch more. So that was comforting to know that that my opinion had changed. So look out for reviews of episodes of The Boys Series 2 coming your way So, computer games. I paid £1 and got Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. You know, let's see how many more words we can add to this thing to make it sound cool. As a trial, you can have it for £1, and then it's £11 a month after that. I'm really torn on this one because I think £11 a month is a lot of money. My hope is that I can get through quite a lot of games this month and then kind of not have to go back to it. But as I think I might have mentioned previously, my PlayStation's not a happy bunny. So it's been kind of nice switching over to the Xbox. The Xbox is a lot more user friendly than it ever has been. And because I've got one of the original Xbox ones, it's still got the Kinect. And I've started using the Kinect for a lot of voice commands. And I find it it's kind of cool, it's kind of useful. I feel the Xbox is probably coming into its own a little bit, you know, right at the end of its life. So that's what you want from your technology, isn't it? So let's have a look at some of the games that I've been playing off the old Game Pass. Halo Wars 2. Absolutely convinced that I'd never played it. Was absolutely adamant that I was well happy that it was on there and I'd get the opportunity to play Halo Wars 2. Got it downloaded, got it installed, started playing it, and I was like, yeah, I've played this before. A couple of times. So there was that. Didn't stop me playing through it again. I absolutely love an RTS. I am a man that loves a real-time strategy game. I absolutely loves them. So I was kind of in my element there and thoroughly enjoyed that. Tried a couple of others. Darksiders Genesis. Kind of a top-down shooter. Very highly reviewed. And it was okay. But you know those games where you just don't know if you're going the right way? Like, ever. And you seem to be going forward, so that's kind of a good thing, but you never feel like you're going the right way. Played like that, it was a bit daunting. I gave My Friend Pedro a go. It's a game that I own on the Switch. But it was available and it was like 4 gig and free. So I had a bit of a go on that. Then there was a notification that came up recently saying that Forza Motorsport 7, so not the Horizon one, the Motorsport version, was available on Game Pass. I was like, do you know something? I've been really fancying a decent driving game to get my teeth into. This could be it. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a whirl. Which I did. To download it's a massive game. Part of me thinks it was the best part of was it that was the best part of 100 gig? Or was it when I tried to download Gears of War 4? Anyway, it was big. It might have been like 90 gig. Big game. But it's good. It's good fun. I've been enjoying it. I've just been doing like a few races on an evening. So I think I'll play that for a little bit. Kind of enjoying it. I've got a few too many assists on for my liking, but it's also allowing me to, for want of a better way to put it, win races. And I've had experience with Forza before where playing it like as a normal driving game, it's almost impossible. So I might have to look at dulling down some of the assists, but I don't know whether I would fully get rid of them, because Forza is it's a serious racing game for serious racers. So we'll see about that. I downloaded a game off Mr. Muscroft's recommendation. Kind of. This was a game that he did say that he'd lost many hours of his life to, which sounded good and bad all at the same time. I downloaded Slay the Spire. I hate him for that reason, because it's an absolute time vampire. You put it on, you're like, I'll just have a quick go on this, and an hour and a half passes by and you're like, I need to go to bed. What the actual fuck? It's good fun. It's a card game. You use cards to attack your opponent. You move up to a boss or various bosses throughout the time that you're working your way up, and then you go to the spire. I managed to get to the second run through. I don't know if when you die it resets everything. I'll find out at some point, I'm sure. A lot of fun, but yeah, time vampire. I put on Gears of War 5. I was like, yeah, it's free, I'll give it a go. So you do the training first. I'm fine with that. Let's get this training done. And it's just, how to cover, how to shoot from cover, how to aim, how to throw grenades, how to use shotguns. That's basically it. Then you're like, well, what do you want to do? You want to play a campaign? You want to play multiplayer? What? So I was like, I want to play the campaign. Okay. New game. Cool. Then it does the the intro, the video at the start, set the scene, and I was like, I don't think I played Gears of War 4. Crap. So at this point I was like, now what do I do? So I stopped playing it there and then, let it save, stopped playing, I went on to Game Pass, and I'm pretty sure I found Gears of War 4, but now I think about it, I think it might have been the one that was like 100 gig to download, and I would have had to have deleted pretty much everything that I've got downloaded, apart barring like a couple of things, and I think I was just like, it's just too much to have to delete. I suppose in theory I should delete 5 to free the space up to play 4, to then download 5 and play. Yeah, should have done that, shouldn't I? Hindsight's 2020. So yeah, there are other games that I fancy playing. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Fancy giving that a go. I wasn't prepared to pay £50 for part of a game, so why not play it for free? My fear is that the time will run out and then I'll have to make the decision as to whether I'm going to pay £11 to carry on playing some of these games. I might, because when you look at how much games cost these days, £11 is a fraction of the price of a new game. But there are games coming out. We've got that run up to Christmas. Oops, I said the C word. We've got the run up to the back end of the year, and no matter how few games there are and about in the games world at this point in time, back end of the year is a sweet spot for games. So we have got games coming out, so I'd have to make a judgment call. I've passed on a couple of games recently, for various reasons. Squadrons being one. Didn't overly like the look of it, but I'm sure it's a game I'll pick up further down the line. It was released cheap for games these days, and it has come down in price since release. I don't think those are reflections of the game so much as reflections of its release price. So there's that. We'll see. We've got a month to decide, so we'll take it from there. So last thing to cover is last week I was talking about, for want of a better way of putting it, I was talking about fat shaming. It's not for everyone. I'm not saying it is, and I'm not saying it should be, and so on and so forth. But as we may well see, it might be something that does work for me. So there was this thing about going for this run, and I nearly managed to do the whole 1.6 miles in one go, but I didn't. So, you know, the focus was there. Since that podcast, there will have been Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Tuesday, and today. Tuesday. Now then, was Tuesday the day that I went out and went a different way and got quite far but still couldn't achieve the full thing? Wednesday, rest day. Thursday, didn't manage to achieve it. However, Friday, went the quote-unquote easy way and managed to do the run in one go without stopping. 1.6 miles completed with no stoppings, and I was happy. But I was quite happy that I'd achieved that. But then I was afraid. Could I do it again? Was it possible? Is it possible? Saturday, got out there, got the run going, and again managed to do it, but did go the quote-unquote easy way. This morning I was like, come on, we're gonna have to do it, so let's do it. Went the quote-unquote harder way and managed to do the run in one go. As I'm sure you can imagine, I was quite impressed. I was quite happy, you know, with my achievements. However, all of that disappeared out the window the moment I stepped on the scales. But I did want to say I did complete, at this point in time I've now completed 3 runs with no stops. So, you know, it's something. I'm not going to say it isn't, but the result, the thing I'm doing it for, I'm not getting the result that I am looking for. So there is also that. So there we go. That's it, peeps. That's all. That's your lot. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining me, and I will speak to you next time. Bye.
So there you go. What do you think's that? Another one done. Oh man, where does the time go? YouTube watchers, I keep saying obviously you're subscribers, because you're all good people. Good people subscribe. Wink wink, nudge nudge. Everybody jump over to thecookiecast.com, check us out over there. Drop us a line, little email maybe, tell us how you're getting on, tell us what movies you're watching, TV shows, games you're playing, any of that, it's fine. So that's it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then. Bye.